The Real Barenziah Part 4 Daggerfall Edition. They settled into Riften for the winter, taking a cheap room in the slums. Barenziah joined the Thieves' Guild, knowing there would be trouble if she were caught freelancing. One day in the bathroom, she caught the eye of a known member of the guild, a bold young Kashit named Theris. She offered to bed with him if he would sponsor her for membership. He looked over, grinned, and agreed, but said she'd still have to pass a test. What sort of test? Ah, Theris said, payment first, sweet thing. He put an arm around her, leaned over and kissed her, thrusting his tongue deep into her mouth and his free hand into her shirt. Nice, he said, withdrawing his tongue, not his hand. His other hand slid down to her waistband and fondled her buttocks. Let's go upstairs. We can use my room. Barenziah felt both embarrassed and excited by his boldness. Theris grinned insolently. Why bother? You want me, don't you? I'll bet you'd pay me, wouldn't you? No, Barenziah said. She did want him, but not that badly. No? Well, a bargain is a bargain, and Theris keeps his word. But here, now. He hiked her skirt up and pulled her onto his lap. So she sat astride, facing him. Now, he opened her shirt, and pulled it down to her shoulders so her breasts were exposed. Nice pair, kid. She was facing the wall. She could feel the stares of the other patrons. A hush had fallen over the place. Even the bard had stilled. She felt both nausea and a hot, burning desire. Her hands released his turgid penis, and then it was inside her, and she was screaming in both pain and ecstasy. Then everything went black. When she had came to herself again, she was sitting beside Theris, who was buttoning her shirt. That hurt, she said indignantly. Always does, kid. Doesn't anyone ever tell you about Khajiit men? It hurts good, though, now doesn't it? Barenziah scowled at him. She was still smarting. His penis had tiny little barbs on it. What's the deal, if you like? He shrugged. No, I didn't say that. I prefer privacy, and I wanted to wait a while, like a day or so before the next time. Theris laughed. You're okay, kid. Straw was going to kill her, and maybe Theris too. What in Tamriel had possessed her to do such a thing? She cast an anxious look about the room. But the other patrons had lost interest and had gone back to their own business. She did not recognize any of them. This wasn't the inn where she lived. With luck, it'd be a while, or never, before Straw found out. But Theris was by far the most exciting and attractive man she had yet met. He not only told her about the skills needed to be a member of the Thieves' Guild, but had trained her in himself, or introduced her to people who could teach her. Among these was a Nord woman who knew something about magic. Katisha was plump and moth-trolley. She was married to a smith, had 2 teenage children, and was perfectly ordinary and respectable, except that she was very fond of cats, had a gift for certain kinds of magic, and cultivated rat-rot friends. She taught Barenziah an invisibility spell and trained her in other forms of stealth and disguise. Katisha mingled magical and non-magical talents freely, using one to enhance the other. She was not a member of the Thieves' Guild, but was fond of Theris in a motherly sort of fashion. Barenziah warmed to her as she never had any woman. Sorry about that. And over the next few weeks, she told Katisha all about herself. She brought Straw there, too. Straw approved of Katisha, but not of Theris. Theris found Straw amusing and suggested that Barenziah that they arrange what he called a threesome. Indeed not, barenziah said, grateful that Therius had broached this subject in private. He would like it. I wouldn't like it. Therius smiled his charming triangular cat smile and sprawled lazily back in the chair, curling his tail. You might both be surprised. Pairing is so boring. Well, would you mind if I brought a friend? Yes, if you're bored with me and you and your friend can find someone else. She was a member of the Thieves Guild now. She found Therius useful, but not essential. Maybe she was a bit bored with him, too. She talked to Katisha about her men problems. Katisha shook her head and told her she was looking for love, not sex, and that she'd know the right man when she found him, and that neither Straw nor Therius was the right one for her. barenziah cocked her head to one side quizzically. They say dark elf women are something. Prostitutes? You mean presumptuous. Although some do become prostitutes. I suppose elf women are presumptuous when they're young. You'll outgrow it. Perhaps you're beginning to already. Katisha said hopefully, You ought to meet some nice elven boys, though. It's if you keep companying with Khajiits and humans, you'll find yourself pregnant soon. barenziah smiled involuntarily at the thought. I'd like that, but it would be an inconvenience, wouldn't it? Babies are a lot of trouble, and I don't even have a home yet. How old are you? 17? Well, you're a year and 2 yet before you'll be fertile, unless you're unlucky. Elves don't have children readily with other elves, even after that, so you'll be alright if you stick with them. Straw wants you to buy a farm and marry me. Is that what you want? No, not yet. Maybe someday if I can't be a queen. I think Straw will be a very old man before some day comes. Berry elves live a long time. Katisha's face briefly wore the wistful look. Humans had gone with contemplating the 1,000-year lifespan that elves were entitled to by nature. True, few ever actually lived that long, as disease and violence took a toll, but they could. I like old men too, Barry said. Chapter 4, The Real barenziah, end.